Hello friends, welcome back to my channel for a new video. For today I decided that I wanted to just kind of turn the camera on while I got ready for the day and just sort of see what happens. So let's just get started. The first thing that I like to do is always start off with a primer. For today I chose the Makeup Forever Step 1 Smoothing Primer, and I like to just put this anywhere that I have any problem areas of my skin, usually around my chin, anywhere that fine lines like to crease up, and pretty much my whole face. Next, I go in with the e.l.f. Poreless Putty Primer, and this thing like broke the internet a while back, and to be honest with you, I like it. I just didn't really understand the huge hype about it, but I mean it works. It definitely makes a difference, but I wouldn't say that it completely minimizes your pores, but it helps, so I use it. For foundation, I decided to use an oldie but a goodie. This is the Bare Minerals Bare Pro Foundation, and I really like this because the coverage is really good and it truly does last a really long time. And those are like the two main things that I love most about foundations. And to blend it all out, I'm using a Morphe M439 brush. And I like this brush a lot because of the size and the thickness to it. So it's a kabuki styled brush, but it's not too big to where it's like overpowering on your face. It's got a nice size to it, so you can really get into your eye area and around the face, and it covers a large portion of your face and it gets into the small portions as well. And for concealer, I'm actually going to use two. I'm going to start off with the e.l.f. Camo Concealer in the shade Light Sand. This has a lot of really good coverage, and then I'm going to mix it with my BeautyCounter Skin Twin Creamy Concealer, shade Fair 1. And I really just love to mix this one with other concealers because it just adds a lot of hydration and helps it blend really nicely. And to blend it, I'm using the Japonesque brush in the number 718. Concealer is probably one of my favorite steps in makeup because it makes such a huge difference for your before and after. And it's just so satisfying, you know? And we're just going to finish blending this other eye out. And then I'm going to go into the Airspun translucent powder to set everything. But before I do that, I like to take my fingers and just gently tap under my eye just to get rid of any potential creasing. And then I just use the powder puff that comes with the powder, and I just kind of pat that all over my face to set my foundation and concealer. And because I'm a crazy coverage person, I'm going to go in with a little bit more foundation. I'm going to use the Cover FX powder in P30 and use a Sonia Kashuk brush to just blend that out. And then we're going to jump into our bronzer. And I'm using the BeautyCounter bronzer in the shade Cabana with my Morphe brush M527. And I'm just going to kind of use that to contour and warm up the face. And a little trick that I picked up is that if you have a brush that you really love and can't get rid of and it's kind of lost its shape, I'll just pinch the base of it to sort of make it more narrow, and then it'll fit into your contours a little bit better. Next, we are jumping into blush, and this is also by BeautyCounter, and it's in the shade Sorbet, and I'm using the Real Techniques multitasking brush. And I'll make like a little smile in the mirror just so I can see where my true apples of my cheeks are, and then I try to just blend that up into my bronzer. Then I'm just going to take a stippling brush from Sigma, and I'm just going to use that to sort of blend everything out and get rid of any harsh lines. Now I'm going to zoom you guys right in, and we're going to jump into brows. And I've really been loving the BeautyCounter brow pencil in the shade Light. It's not the perfect match to my actual brow color, but it has a little bit of a more red tone in it, which is nice because when my hair is in the light, it sort of picks up a red tone. So this kind of pulls that natural color into my brows as well. And I really don't do a ton to them. I'll just fill in the front to add a little bit of shape, and I'll just fill in any sparse areas, and then I like to give the tops a little bit of a lift as well. And even though I don't do a ton, that really does just make such a huge difference. A brow really can just completely change the face, you know? And we're just going to kind of speed up this part because it's essentially the exact same thing, just on the other eye. Just filling it in where I want, running the spoolie through just to kind of comb everything out. And then we will move on to our brow mascara. So this is from NYX. This is in the shade Chocolate. And again, this really just warms up my brows to kind of match my hair a teeny bit better. And it does do a good job of keeping them in shape as well. And then just adding a little bit more definition to them. Moving on to eyes, I'm going to use the Kat Von D Shade in Light palette. Just picking up a bone color with this Sigma E50 brush. And I'm going to put that all over my lid. And then I'm going to use the Morphe 9A palette with a Sigma number 10 brush with the shade Witness. And I'm going to pop that into the base of my eye, and that's going to just make your eyes appear more awake and give a little bit more dimension. And I'm going to put it under my lip to give the appearance that your lip is a little bit larger than it is, because it's going to create a shadow under there. And before we finish off the eyes, I'm going to actually move on to my lips, and I'm using one of my favorite liners. This is by NYX, and it's in the shade Nude Truffle, and it's just a really good color for me personally because it's a couple shades darker than my natural lip color, so I really like the effect that it gives. It just sort of gives my lips a more defined look. And once I get them all lined up, I just like to start filling them in a little bit. I don't bring it in all the way. I just like to bring the edges in towards the center to make them look less intense. And for lipstick, I'm going to go in with the OG shade Myth from MAC, and it's just a great nude shade for me. And then I'm going to go in and curl my lashes. And a new little trick I learned from Katie Jane Hughes is instead of just curling the base of your lashes, you want to kind of slowly crimp it up. So you want to loosen it and then tighten it again, loosen it and tighten again, all the way till you get to the tips of your lashes, and then it really curls them. And for mascara, I finally found a clean version that I really like, and this is by Ilia Beauty. And this mascara is really nice to really lengthen your lashes, and it does add a decent amount of volume too. The only thing that I don't love about it is that when it does dry down, it stays a little bit soft. And what I mean by soft is if you were to touch your lashes or sort of use your fingers to adjust them, it does sort of transfer just a little bit onto your hands, which isn't my favorite type of mascara. I'd rather it dry down to a more dry consistency where it transfers less. But as far as achieving the look that I want, this mascara is really great, and it's definitely become one of my favorites. So I just go in and I apply a ton of coats, and then I'll shift down to the bottom. I will put mascara on my bottom lashes, and then I just kind of go through and see if I need to add any more to achieve my desired look. And to finish off the eyes, I'm going to pick up the BeautyCounter Golden Hour All-in-One palette, and using my Sigma E39 brush, I'm picking up the shade Aura and just popping that into the inner corners of the eye to just brighten them up a bit. And then we are going to zoom back out, and we are going to tackle this hair. So I did shower before I started filming, but my hair dries super fast, so I'm wetting it. And then I'm applying my favorite Color Wow Dream Coat spray, and this is going to help with humidity and just sort of achieve a much more smooth, less frizzy look. Then I'm going to pick up an oil, and I can't for the life of me remember the name of this because I put it in a different container, but it's just kind of like our Maracuja oil, and I like to focus that on my ends. And I apologize that this is sort of in and out of focus, but I was filming by myself, and this is just the best I could do. So I'm going to split up my hair, and then I'm going to pick up my handy dandy blow dry brush, and we are going to start to blow dry. And if you guys don't have this blow dry brush, I truly cannot recommend it enough. This one was literally like $30 off of Amazon. I spent a lot of time looking at reviews because there are companies that make them for upwards of $150, and then there's some that are $20. And the reviews tell me that for whatever reason, they just don't last a long time. They sort of tend to burn out, and the first one that I got did burn out on me after about a year and a half. So for me, I'd rather just spend $30 every 2 years than spend $150. But this works so well. I'm obsessed with it, and I will of course link a Amazon link for you guys down in the bottom bar. And the secret with these is instead of just kind of brushing your hair like you would a brush, you really want to create tension with it. So as you see, I'm kind of twisting it once I get it into the hair. I'm going to give it a nice twist to just create that tension so it has some pull. That way it's really smoothing out the hair instead of just sort of brushing it with heat. And once I get the bottom section all dry, I'm just going to continue to split my hair into sections and work my way up. And once I get a whole piece blow dried, I like to turn on the cool setting, and then I just like to run the brush right through everything just to sort of set it all and smooth everything out. And then I'm going to work on the last portion of my head, which is the top part, and I like to blow dry most of this forward. And here I like to split it in half and then split it in half again. That way it'll fit into the brush better, and I'll avoid picking up any hair that I don't want to blow dry yet. And once I get this last piece dry, I'm going to flip it back onto the cool setting, and I'm going to flip my whole head forward this time and really just brush through everything and try to smooth out all these pieces the best that I can. And once everything is cooled down, I am done with my hair. I'm just going to give it a shake and let it fall where it naturally falls. And that's about it. I like to just sort of run my fingers through it, and I wanted to just show the back. Just show that that brush seriously does make it look like you gave yourself a professional blow dry, which is pretty sweet. And then I'll just take my comb and sort of run through it, and I like to just give it the shape that I want with a little bit of teasing. That's kind of it. Sometimes I'll spray it with hairspray. Today I just chose not to, but once it's all kind of cooled down and in the shape I want, I'm done. So this was pretty much my everyday, how I get ready. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and don't forget to follow me on Instagram, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.